Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about the Star Wars Battlefront beta, my thoughts, my impressions, and kind of how polarizing I'm feeling, or how just mixed I feel about this game. So let me get into this. So let's get out the little stuff like the graphics in the Star Wars field. The graphics are phenomenal. The transitions from the Star Wars universe, character models, heroes and villains, music, gun sounds, and just this game feels like it was made by some Star Wars fans. The game has some Star Wars lore. It sounds good. It has all the voices, radio voices. It sounds very familiar. That's very good. But let's get into the most controversial topic, which is the gameplay. And I thought about this for a few hours, and I think I finally have my opinion on all the different mechanics that this game has borrowed. And we're going to kind of compare to Battlefront 2 to an extent in this video. So Battlefront 2 came out in 2005. Modern Warfare 2 came out in 2009, and Battlefront 3 is coming, or just Battlefront is coming out in 2015, the reboot. So why am I giving you guys these dates? Between the years 2009 and 2005, we see this growth in the first person and just shooter community, where now that Modern Warfare 2 is out and we have this established, and shooters have evolved since 2005. Shooters have evolved into this competitive, to an extent. It's like a competitive, casualized multiplayer that a lot of people have fun and play exclusively, not just the story. But when we think about Battlefront 2 and people calling this new reboot of Battlefront not hard, it kind of makes me scratch my head, because the Battlefront games are not developed to be challenging games per se. Like when we talk about Battlefront 1 or Battlefront 2, those games are very easy. Anybody who has played those games on the PS2 would be like, oh yeah, UG6, those games are very easy. That's my point exactly. But there's a little bit more to that. So we kind of wonder, why is this game so easy? And DICE hit the nail on the head. It's not supposed to be a challenging game. However, when you remove so much from the games, like air battles, single players, the conquest single player, or just a single player game mode, and you have an exclusive online, it feels like the Naruto Storm franchise, going from Storm 1 to Storm 2, that the game doesn't have balancing issues, but it's just lacking that competitive aspect that people will be playing this game for. Since it doesn't have the single player mode and it's going straight into multiplayer, then you're going to need a game that has a little bit of a skill curve, or a skill gap. I'm not talking about like a Street Fighter skill gap or like a fighting game skill gap, but I'm talking about like kind of the casualized skill curve in Modern Warfare 2. It doesn't take that long to play, to pick up, but there can be a line between good and bad in that game. I'm not trying to like shoot down that entire franchise, but all that I am saying is I think the game needs a little bit more. I think the game needs a little bit more competitive, or the game needs to be more challenging. Speaking of the gameplay, some things that people have bitched about is the fact that the guns have no recoil. There's no need to reload, infinite ammo, the infinite shields, how you can have a rifle with you at all times, infinite grenades, and you can just hurl those bad boys. And like you're watching this gameplay, I mean, all I'm doing is I'm just holding down this sector, stopping enemies from getting close to the pod, and I'm helping defend the pod. It's that simple. So I feel like it's kind of unfair to compare it to Battlefront 2 or like Modern Warfare 2 or really any other first-person shooter, because this is the way I see it. Comparing Battlefront 2 to the reboot, if the game played like it did 10 years ago with ammo resupplies and other mechanics, gamers would bitch about the game being too close to Battlefield. So they took this different approach where they casualized the game. They felt like, hey, if we had somebody going and dropping by ammo, or if we had, like back in Battlefront 2 days, I think it was like back in your spawn, they had these the health robot and the ammo robots, and they'll drop you ammo and stuff. But knowing DICE, if they actually brought that in and had a specific class that would actually carry the ammo and health for you, then people would be like, oh my god, this is just reskin Battlefield and DICE is doing it wrong. And I don't know, I mean, would you guys want that? So I mean, I'm not very lenient about this game, but I'm not gonna buy it day one, that's for sure. But I just feel very mixed about this game, because it feels like Battlefront 2-esque, but it also feels nothing like Battlefield 4 at all, or not Battlefield, or just the Battlefield series in general. Am I going to buy this game day one? I want to see how it performs. I want to see how the servers hold up, how much content is actually in the game, if there are any bugs, exploits, or anything like that. And in conclusion, knowing DICE, I don't know if I will pick this game up day one. I think the beta is fun. Don't go into it with this very competitive mindset. And also, knowing DICE and EA, just EA in particular, expect space battles and some missing features to return via DLC. And yeah, that's about it. So tell me what you guys think about the Battlefront beta. Have you played it? Do you like it? Do you agree with me about the whole Battlefront 2 generational change, needing a more competitive game? And yeah, that's about it. You should check it out. Make sure to follow me on Twitter, Twitch, links in the description. Be sure to check out my podcast, The DMAC, and have a good one.